What's up? It's Friday, and welcome to a scandalous episode 67 of Invisible Walls. Got all kinds of salacious stuff going on in the industry we're going to talk about this week. And here to do it with me is Marcus Beer, firmly with his tail between his legs.
As long as it's not your tail between my legs, I'm happy.
We got Miguel Lopez in his fresh wicker cap.
What's up, guys? I'm here to bring the salaciousness.
Brooks Hubert is sitting in today.
It's been a long time.
And Ryan Stevens is doing dual duty today. He's running audio, and he is a part of the show. You think you're going to be able to chew gum and walk at the same time?
I'm kind of freaking out right now, but I think it's going to be okay.
Well, that's because he's listening to himself in the headphones.
Do I really sound like
Echo.
this?
Unfortunately.
We do have a really good show today. Monty is back in for the last installment of Dead Fantasy. Like I said, got some really cool stuff to talk about. Let's do it.
Look at all this new security. How's a guy supposed to break out of here?
All right, first we're going to lead into a conversation about IDOS and review scores in general by talking about Batman Arkham Asylum. Obviously one of the big games at Comic-Con this week. I think we've all had a chance to take it for a spin at this point. I think one way I would describe it is that maybe it's a little too automated.
It's not the Batman I thought it was going to be. And I admit, the last time I saw it was at E3. I haven't had a chance to play the newest versions that you guys have. But from what I played at E3, it seemed very much, not necessarily on rails, but everything they teased, everything they pimped, really didn't come out the way I was hoping. I was hoping this dark, gritty, Dark Knight detective stuff, and it seems very sort of like, if you need to find something, there's a big flag saying, "Look over here."
Well, yeah, you turn on
this.
his bat vision or whatever, and it basically shows you what to do.
Yeah,
it walks you through the game. My problem with the combat, it just seems like it's just you can keep mashing the same button and you do like 20 different things. It just seems really automated.
It's just a series of punches and counters, and that's pretty much it.
What about like stealth or like stuff related to gadgets, which is part and parcel what Batman's all about?
Yeah.
Is there any of that?
Do you get to mentor Robin?
No.
Robin is not.
He's not
What do you
even
mean by mentor?
Pass.
What do you mean by mentor?
Don't you mean you get to?
They don't call him Boy Wonder for nothing.
I'm sure you mean that you get to adopt a young boy and rear him.
What? That's gameplay right there.
It's a mini game.
But yeah, I think the combat ultimately is going to hold the game together, and to me, so far, what I've seen of it just doesn't.
It's very
have the
cinematic.
depth.
It's very cinematic, but it's very by the numbers as well. You're right. It is.
I think if you watch somebody play it, you think it's awesome.
Oh yeah, if you watch somebody playing it, you think they're the best player ever
You've ever
because
seen.
everything.
How do you do all that? You're like, I just push this button, and all the magic
really
happens.
easy.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's still. I think it's going to be a good game.
I think it'll be better than any Batman before it. Of course.
I think Lego Batman.
saying.
Lego Batman is going to give it a run for its money. But yeah, this is going to be a good Batman game. It's going to be one of the best. But it's just, I don't know if there's a curse on this franchise, but it's just going to fall short again. It's not going to have what we need.
For some reason, I never consider the Lego games a part of that franchise because they're all just kind of like these cut and paste games.
Yeah.
They're Lego
I
games.
agree.
I don't consider
Lego
like
franchise.
an Indiana Jones game or
Dude,
a Batman
if you're a
game.
thirsty man in the desert, anything liquid will be happy. And if you're hankering for a decent Batman game, if a Lego game's all you're going to get, that's what you're going to take.
Now, why do you think they delayed this game? Because it seems to me it's done.
I think they delayed it because they wanted. I mean, obviously they've had this.
They
takeover.
wanted to wait for Comic-Con.
Yeah.
There's the takeover first of all
Better
with
mix.
Square Enix. They've taken IDOS over and are busy absorbing it. IDOS Europe is gone.
Yeah.
They're all part of Square Enix now, and I think they just wanted to have a game that was coming out at the start of the big, September holiday push.
But is the ghost of IDOS really gone in Europe?
Apparently, the PR people. Thanks for throwing me that line. But this, what? I'm gonna hand this over to Miguel because this is Miguel's story. He's the one who's been pushing this on me, and it's a great story. So Miguel, you tell him what IDOS PR have been up to in Europe.
All right. Well, we've had this conversation, you and I. We've played it back and forth, but basically,
First of all, as a qualifier, Miguel is our reviews editor, so
right. So
that's pertain to him.
yeah, and it's kind of my business to think about these kinds of things. But basically, correct me if I'm wrong, but IDOS extended a deal to a number of print mags in Europe saying that if Arkham Asylum scores higher than X, they get to publish their reviews earlier. or
yeah.
maybe something else, and also, if you include the game in your cover or something like that.
Yeah, I mean,
Now, is this confirmed, or is this just one of those bullshit rumors that?
you know,
around?
I mean, it's we've only heard these anonymous sources, but you know what? It sounds true. It sounds true because it's been going on for years. I think, especially in the UK, when I was doing PR in the UK, we'd always have, you want your reviews hitting early, you want your best reviews hitting early, especially when you're still trying to get some pre-orders in, and the turnaround in the UK print mags is so quick. And the print market is still huge over there. There's thousands and thousands of different magazines.
Right, but the same thing happens here, and it happens with online publications
happens
where
more
that turnaround isn't really an issue because we could conceivably see something one week and run a review the next.
Well, the whole
conceivably.
the whole concept is that as a PR person, you want your best reviews to hit first. Always, you don't want a bad review. And a lot of PR people, and myself included, when I did this, I would put the caveat in. I would say, if you're going to score the game, great. High, say whether it's an 8 or a 9 or whatever, let me know, and we can make sure it runs early. If you're not, I'm not going to force you. I do have an embargo in place, but
You can see where that's shady, though.
Right, and you see, like the
It's,
issue with that is that it indirectly incentivizes people to score high. You
know
know,
what?
like you always want to put up your review as soon as possible.
The
you know,
one
like
Because the earlier you get it out, the more people care.
right,
one
and
thing-
when stuff is on the up and up, that means day and date. The
Dude,
day
I'm
that
not-
everybody else will.
I am not disagreeing that it's a little bit shady. I think it's at the end of the day, it's trying to tip the balance in your favor as much as possible. The one thing I never did was and Shane will attest to this because of the fear review score he gave me. No matter how much I badgered him, we never had the review score go up. And he knows he was lighthearted badgering because he brought my Metacritic down. But that's
Doesn't sound so lighthearted 7 years on down the road now, does it?
It's not 7. It's only what was it?
Oh, it's longer than it's
3,
probably
4
like
years.
5 years.
Four
isn't it?
years. 4 years, 2005, 2006, yeah.
Wow.
But I mean, it's standard. It is standard practice for people to try and get the best reviews up first.
But then there are cases too where some publishers are accused of it and they don't really do it. Like Ubisoft was accused of doing this with Assassin's Creed in the U.S. Basically, he just emailed me and was like, "You can put your review up on this day." Period.
I think it
We had
also.
our review done. We put it up on that day, and then afterwards, this fallout is like, "Oh well, Ubisoft only let people put up reviews that gave that game a high score." That's not the case. They didn't ask us our score at all.
I think the key thing everybody has to remember is if you see a review from a game on Metacritic or Rotten Tomatoes or any aggregator, and they're all sort of like tiny sites, that's when you smell a problem. If a GameSpot, IGN, Game Trailers, if it hasn't been reviewed here, and you're seeing like 9s and 10s everywhere else, that's where you smell something nasty and rotten. Because if these guys haven't reviewed it or haven't put the review up yet because of an embargo, generally means the game's a bag of
I would say in general you should probably, even though people were wrong with Assassin's Creed, I think in general if a site is putting up its review early, you should probably look at that review with a grain of salt.
What I will say is since I've moved to the US, I found that it's the US press in general, the print press in particular, and then the people who've moved to online, whether it's been from the print side or have been at online for such a long time, they are, most of them are pretty much unbuyable. I mean, they have the standards in place. They've been, they've come through environments where the standards have been put there, and everybody's like, you don't mess around with the reputation. And I've seen people, fired for some dodgy stuff. I mean, I've also seen really good journalists fired for accurate reviews of games that were and it conflicted with the advertiser, and that is disgusting.
That's the
And
bottom
that's
line.
where it hits the bottom of the barrel.
Right.
And that's what happened to our good friend Jeff Gerstmann.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely. So
That's the thing. Like this stuff happens, and what sucks for publications who try to keep it on the up and up is that we get screwed out of traffic because every other publication is posting early because they have agreed to these kinds of terms. And
But at the same time, can we tell someone who's listening to this right now, don't go and read that early review or don't go and watch that?
no, of course they're going to.
I mean,
We're not going to make people torture themselves.
even
Well,
somebody who knows it's bullshit is going to read it anyway.
I mean, not
right?
all first
Because it's
reviews
out
are
there.
bullshit. I mean, whoever's got the first review on the next GTA, that's not going to be a bullshit review. I mean, it may be a little bit high because, perhaps it may be a 0.5%
Maybe
high.
not.
Because everybody's excited about having the first GTA review and they want to they spooge all over it. But it's not always the case, especially with the bigger sites, in my opinion.
Yeah. I don't know. I would just say err on the side of caution out there, peeps.
Especially
if it looks like a duck, it quacks like a duck, it walks like a duck, it's probably a duck. All right, next up, Monty Oum is here for his final appearance on Invisible Walls. We're going to miss you, bro. But one thing I will say is you have definitely brought the goods more than any guest we have had prior on the show. So first of all, thank you very much. You're here to premiere a sneak peek at Dead Fantasy V, which is the final installment we're probably going to see for how long, do you think?
Oh, man, these movies take me months on end. I do them as fast as I can, but, you know, it's
With
a
Dead
lot
Fantasy
of work.
6 months from now, maybe?
Well, man, with the excitement of the response from all the vids, I'm going to go straight working into 6, 7, and 8.
What if your real job starts actually
And
making you work?
Hey, I mean, I'm dying to get back to work on everything I think about all day. But I mean, the average take me about 6 to 8 months. So it's become a yearly thing. You know, especially those of you who see me in person. I premiere at the conventions that I go to, the live venues. It's great to know when I should be delivering. So we'll say I'll bring you as much as I can. I estimate 3, maybe 4 episodes by the same time next year.
So this is it, your final slice of Dead Fantasy for quite a while. Now this one is pretty peculiar because it really ends with quite a cliffhanger. I don't want to ruin it before people watch it. Obviously you're going to get a slice of it here. The full thing will roll out on Monday on GT.
Yep.
But what do you want to say about that? I mean, it is a big twist. And actually I think if you look back at the prior episodes after you watch the end of this one, you start to put those other parts in a little bit more perspective, right?
That's right. In fact, working on these 3 simultaneously was me being able to, I mean, for one thing, I hate the fact that it takes me 6 months to deliver 1 episode. So instead of, unlike Dead Fantasy 2, which was 10 minutes of action once, I just decided I'll do 5 minutes of action 3 times. So technically, if you look at the whole of it, you're getting more. And because I worked on 3 simultaneously, I was able to jump back and forth between scenes and implicate a lot. So if you put 2 and 2 together and look at the hints I've dropped, you might be able to figure out what's going on and what I have planned for the next episodes. And I have to say, the next episodes, ideas that I wanted to do that I couldn't due to technical or scheduling issues, I'm going to let loose on now because I've established a level of skill based on these new ones. And they'll be really great because there's now the setup as well as the delivery, which I will get into as soon as I can get to working on them.
Now, do you foresee the new ones being a little more story-driven and a little less action-driven?
I think a good mix.
All without voiceover, right?
I think a good mix of both. Voiceover does tend to be a problem, but I mean, and you know, something I'm working towards. I mean, if you look at my movies, I've got 10 minutes of action in a whole sequence. There are action movies in Hollywood that don't have 10 minutes of action in them. So the day I can get exposition, dialogue in my movies, it gets me one step closer to making that feature film. And even if I do, it'll still be free.
That's right. Well, Monty, thanks once again for coming by. We really appreciate it, man. Really admire your work on a number of different levels. This is it. The opening tease, Dead Fantasy V. All right, now we're going to talk about Wii Sports Resort. Please do not close the window. I think we have a good discussion about this. I know a lot of you kids hate the casual games.
Yeah, what's up with you guys?
But this is a good one. This is a good casual game. This is a casual game you will enjoy playing with the people that you usually just play. I'm not kidding, Marcus. It's good.
It
Play
is.
with people? I don't play with people.
It's got achievements, right?
It's got
got
stamps.
It's in
Not
high.
really achievement.
It's in high definition, isn't it?
It's not.
Let's not
Oh,
focus
okay.
on
It's
it.
in 480p.
Okay, there you go.
So this is the big coming out party for Wii Motion Plus. Well, I enjoyed the game a lot. I think it's great. I think it's it does definitely bridge that gap between you and your mom, or you and your grandma, or you and your girlfriend, or whatever. Everyone kind of enjoys playing it, but there's a lot of more depth here than there was in the first one, and it's because of Wii Motion Plus. Now, Brooks,
Yep.
you played this as well. I actually did the review for the site, so it's kind of better, I think, if maybe you lead the discussion a little bit so you can sort of provide that counter argument to what I already provided in our review. So what is your overall impression of the game?
Well, first of all, I have to say I agree with your score.
Okay.
I'm not going to
Maybe then you
counter
aren't a
argue
counter
there.
argument.
Shane, I also think you're a beautiful man.
Yeah.
What is the score? I mean,
In 8.6.
Yeah,
It's live
there's
on the site.
kind
If
of
you
a lot of-
surfed GameTrailers.com in the last 5 days.
I was too busy looking in the comments saying that you're brilliant. And I was kind of like,
No,
I'm sure
some
you
of the
were.
comments were actually hating on us. They're
For Wii Sports Resort?
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's the kind of thing that you almost have to play it to really experience it. I know.
Well, I think
It's true
I
with
was talking to
everything,
Miguel about this on Friday. I think a lot of the hardcore kids don't like Wii Sports and games like Wii Sports because people that never play games can beat them at it.
If it's all about a competition, then you're just already failing.
It kind of removes the inherent advantage that we have with the interface. You know
With
what
the
I mean?
sticks and the buttons. Like, we're
Yeah.
good with that stuff, but no one else.
Why do you have to feel inferior when you pick up Wii Sports? It's a fun game. It's just all about having a good time. And
But you
that's
got to
what-
realize these are kids that have always beaten their little brother. They've
Yeah.
always beaten their older sister. Their parents have always made fools of themselves playing video games, and now all of a sudden their dad's whooping their ass at sword fighting, and like they can't handle it. Like it's hard. It's hard to have a casual person beat you at a game.
It is. It's tough. No one
Video
wants to
games, that's
accept
what we
defeat.
do, right? That's
Yeah.
our domain. That's our place.
I think for a lot of these people, they don't have anything else.
Ah, don't be like that. But
No, it's true. I mean, it's one of those things that
Their biggest hobby,
it's
and-
their biggest hobby. It's what they excel at. They take a lot of pride in it. I mean, I take a lot of pride in the fact that my hobby's video games, and I'm pretty good at them. I'm not brilliant by any stretch of the imagination, but the games I play, I like to think I play them well.
Right.
But
yeah,
you like having fun.
I do like having fun.
Well, Wii Sports Resort is fun.
Yeah,
And see, that's
if
the
I had
bottom
to
line.
Wii
describe
Sports,
it, it's just
Wii Sports
a pleasure
Resort
to
is
play.
effort. If I wanted to do something that was going to make me sweat, I'd actually get on a jet ski at Lake Havasu.
If this is
You know
making
how,
you sweat,
how hard
man.
is it to get on a jet ski at Lake Havasu?
You know what?
You know how much work it takes to do that?
Do you know how much boobage you see on Lake Havasu with like all the bouncing around and everything? But
You know, there is the internet. Lots of boobs on the internet.
That's the
yeah,
path
well,
of least resistance.
some of us like the real thing, Shane.
Let's get back to the game.
Yeah, let's get back to the game. Now, Brooks, what were some of the... Now,
The highlights for me.
all right,
No
well, first of all,
highlights?
the review that I wrote, I said that I was not a big fan of sword fighting. I think it's
Right.
fun, and I had a really good time doing it, but
Uh-huh.
I didn't always feel like there was a whole lot of skill involved with who won.
Yeah.
It just seemed like who just spammed the sword the most. Ended up
It's
winning
what
most
you
the
make of it
matches.
almost. Like you can, if you're just out to win it, you can just spam down. But I felt that there was kind of an amount of depth there.
The
There's a
single player I
block.
loved. The
Yeah.
single player sword fights were great, where you just took on that mountain of opponents,
Uh-huh.
and the precision slicing I liked.
That's fun too, yeah.
The duels is what I just really couldn't get
Yeah,
into.
well,
But
one-on-one
Samba de-
duels
Samba
are
de
a little
Amigo is
difficult.
like that. I mean, if you could just shake the things till like the end of the year and you'd like get the highest score possible. But if you actually like tried to go with it, you have to play within a rule set that actually makes that's really easy to cheat with.
It's kind of like playing Tecmo Super Bowl back in the day, where like players weren't allowed to use the giants because Lawrence Taylor could block every kick. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
it's
If you can
almost
find
like
a
you have to
weakness-
say, look, let's play this a certain way so
Right.
that the best person actually wins.
Because if you could find a weakness and exploit it, yeah, it's not going to be as fun. But if you just go in there for just to have a good time,
It sounds
not
to me
to
like
spam the button.
playing split screen Halo, where you agree not to watch where the other guy's hiding. You know what I mean?
And when the chips are down and there's one kill left for the victory,
Yeah.
everyone's looking at
You
each
can't
other's
help
screen
it.
anyway.
I'm just watching.
That's exactly the way Wii Sports Resort is. Like, you can say, oh, I'm going to play fair, but when it comes down to it in that best out of 3 and you're getting your ass whooped, what are you going to do? You're going to spam until you get back into the fight. So that was one of the big complaints I had. I thought that was kind of a missed opportunity because I thought it could have been awesome.
Yeah.
Maybe LucasArts will come in and save the day. We lightsaber battles.
We'll
too.
see.
But I think in terms of like a single player experience too, if you're not there to play with friends, I had a lot of fun just doing like the wakeboarding was a blast.
It's surprising because it's really simple. And I
Yeah.
think if you watch someone play it, they're like, oh, that's dumb. But it is really fun.
I actually wakeboard in real life, and I love it. It's one of my favorite sports. And then I picked that up. I didn't think I was going to have fun with it, but
What about the cycling?
the
Oh,
cycling
it's
is kind of a
That's where you sweat.
yeah.
You're doing it with your hands, right?
Yeah, you have to take the nunchuck and the Wii remote and
It's like, do you remember
alternate
American
as fast as
Gladiators?
you can.
it's like
Yeah.
you're
Your bike-
pedaling with
your
your
hand
hands.
bike from
It's a
American
hand bike.
Gladiator.
Yeah, and then you have to steer too with your. It's kind of
Eliminator.
difficult to put all three together. Those components.
Yeah, I didn't enjoy the bicycling at all.
Yeah, out of the 12 games, there are a few Debbie Downers that you're not going to be a big fan of. But
I've seen a lot of other reviews complain about the jet skiing. But literally, after I raced a couple times, like, I had that thing dialed in, man.
Yeah.
Like, I could literally, like, the very last track, there are waves that come up, and you need to air off of those waves and then go through, like, a little
the
donut
ring.
hole. Like,
Yeah.
I literally could just line those up and soar right through every time. Like,
Uh-huh.
I got really good at that. And I saw a lot of, in other reviews, people complaining that they never got a handle on it. So,
And then they brought back bowling, and they brought back. what
as
else
they
did
should have.
Yeah.
Bowling was probably the best activity from the first one.
But they added a really cool bowling mode where you get to play 100 pins every round. That's fun.
Was that not in the first Wii Sports?
It was a power thing where you take out 12 pins and then they increased each round until you got to 100.
Right.
But here it's like 100 pins every frame.
Yeah, I
So
enjoyed that
was
a lot
fun.
too.
So you get a score of like 1,200. Which
Getting
is
a
amazing.
spare in that, if you have like a crazy split, because the
Yeah.
pins can be like 20 feet apart if you haven't like done a good job
Oh,
on your
that
first
feeling's
throw.
great. Yeah.
If you bounce a pin off of the wall and it bounces all the way over and cracks that one pin laying there, it feels real good.
And then Nintendo also with this game, they're going to sell a shitload of Motion Pluses outside of the game bundle because.
Yeah, just don't buy them at GameStop because
Yeah.
apparently they're charging $5
$25
extra for the Wii Motion Plus.
And just so
really?
you guys know,
Yeah.
it says it on the box, but you have to have a Motion Plus to play that game.
Oh yeah, you can't just pick. I don't think you can buy it without one though, right? I don't think they're selling just a standalone.
Yeah, but if you want to do
I mean, if you had
simultaneous
a
multiplayer,
friend
Right.
come over or something,
there's
you
a
have
lot
to
of
have
hot
Motion
seat, though.
Plus.
most of the game is hot seat. There's hardly any head-to-head like 2 and 4 player games. Most of it is like, okay, it's my turn. Okay, now it's your turn, and you just take turns using the same Wii remote.
And then the 4 players simultaneously canoeing, it puts 2 teams of 2, so you're rowing
Right.
front and back.
So I loved it. I think if you got people out there listening to this or watching it, I recommend going and buying it. I don't think
Yeah.
you'll regret it. I think you'll make new friends. You'll get your family members in the game that may not like it. I really, really enjoyed
Yeah,
it.
just don't make your opinion until you play it.
Hey, boys and girls. I have a question for you. So, finally, Nintendo.
You want to come into my van?
I have some candy.
I have a hat that I'd like you to put on my Wiimote. Would you like to see my Wiimote?
So, Nintendo finally started rewarding people in America for buying all their crap. Now, if you register your games on Nintendo.com, they give you points for that. You can then use those points to buy stuff. But finally, they gave away free rewards this past week, and they offered me my Platinum reward, and I cannot decide which one I want. So, the 2 things that they're offering are a very special mode for Punch-Out with Doc Lewis, where you fight your trainer from Punch-Out. From what I could tell, it's basically one fight, you fight him, you beat him, it's done.
his weak point is diabetes.
And chocolate bars. Yeah, so as near as I can tell, it's just a one-off fight. You fight him, you're done. You can probably fight him as many times as you want. Option number 2 is a Mario hat.
Wow, you can't get those in Chinatown.
Yeah.
But this is an official replica from Nintendo, and as they said, sure to become a collector's item. So here's the question. Do you buy the game that you'll play for 5 minutes and then be done with, and it sits on your hard drive until you want to delete it? Or do you get the hat, sure to become a collector's item,
And
sure to never, ever be displayed in my home?
You're actually asking the community to decide for you now.
The community is going
which
to
way should you
decide
go?
which one I get. So, I
Remember to
honestly,
plate.
I'm not going to try to nudge people either direction because it's a dead heat to me. The hat, it'll probably go in a closet somewhere.
I
Game,
think
I'll play for 2 minutes. I'll be done
Don't
with
influence
it.
them, Marcus.
no. I
Let the
would
people
I would like to
decide.
say that in the interest of follow through, so everybody knows that if they choose the game, we'll put footage of you playing the game up.
Okay.
And if they choose the hat, we'll put a picture of you wearing the f***ing hat.
Yeah,
I think that's fair,
fair.
everybody, isn't it?
Okay,
That's fair.
but
Dude, I want him to wear the hat.
Okay.
while he plays.
we should get them both.
Okay, so to vote, go to the gamer pad for Invisible Walls and just type in hat or game, one or the other. That way it'll make it easy for us to add them up and figure out who wins. Tell us which one you want. Hopefully it's overwhelming so we don't have to actually sit there and count every damn vote. That would suck.
And I'll take responsibility for counting the votes so that Shane's has to wear a hat.
No, yeah, exactly. Then you'll just vote for the hat. Anyway, jump on there. Tell me which one to buy. And hopefully you'll make the right choice for me. make the right choice for myself. Thank you.
Hat.
And now the official NPD report. They suck.
They really suck. So
Later.
Moving
Buy more
on.
video games.
We're doomed.
Damn it.
release better video games.
Oh boy, here we go again.
It's that time. Well, we haven't done this for a while.
You know, it has been a while since we went toe-to-toe with the ESRB, but lo and behold, they left us alone for a while, and they're back.
Tell us what they've done, Shane.
Well, let's see. First of all, I get an email last Friday from Sony, and they explained to me that the ESRB is not happy with the developer walkthrough for God of War 3. They say it's too violent.
Oh.
So
Was
they
the developer like hitting people with the 6-axis or something? Was he
Never
beating
mind the
small
fact that
children?
the video has been on our website for 2 months. It's all over YouTube. Every other website on the internet has put it up at this point. Of course, they single us out because we're their good friends. So Sony emails me. They're like, "Look, we're going to get fined by these guys if you can't help us out." And I helped them out. I was like, "All right, we'll censor it because we don't want you guys to get fined. This is bullshit."
So how did you censor them, though?
Well, we censored the videos using the logo of the company that censored the videos, which is the ESRB. So we took the ESRB's logo and we put it over top of the bits that they wanted us to censor. And
that footage is playing right now as we speak.
that's right. That footage is live on GameTrailers.com right now.
And on this show
And
right
on
now.
this show. You might want to pull your iPod out of your pocket to see exactly what we did right now.
Or your Zune.
Yeah. Because everybody has one of those. So anyway, so the footage goes up on Friday. The video does like another 100,000 views just because we put it back on our newest list again, which reminds me we should probably do some kind of a segment where we just bring back because people obviously want to watch it. So it does 100,000 views over the weekend. I get in this morning, the light is flashing on my machine here at work, and who is it? It is Sony. So I'm not going to go into all the details of the phone conversation I had with Sony today because some of that stuff was a bit private and privy. But fact of the matter is we satisfied the conditions of the ESRB. We satisfied the conditions of Sony. We've done our job. We've done our due diligence, and the video shall stand. And the ESRB is really, really pissed.
So my question is, why this game and why now? Like, this
Right.
is not unusual in terms of violent in
We've
videos.
never had to censor anything ever. This video was put behind an age gate. It's very obvious that the game is rated mature on our website.
It's a quiet month, so they're sitting up in their offices in Washington, and they basically pulled out a Magic 8-Ball, and who should we pick today? And pick on today, and Game Trailers came up. They're justifying their money. There's like, we're being proactive. We're protecting the industry because somebody from Fox News will see this and will say that Sony is corrupting the young, despite the fact it's behind an age gate, despite the fact that it's got the scenes of gore and all this sort of stuff. The ESRB are just trying to justify their existence. And Shane and I have said this before, and I think we're going to say it again. This is where the publishers need to stand up and basically show that they've got stones. They need to say, ESRB...
They're paying their salary.
Yeah, we pay for you. We pay for you and you charge us. 'Cause as far as I'm concerned, if it's in the f***ing game and it's being demoed and Sony are happy for it to go out, the ESRB can go suck a nut.
So here's my question. Is the ESRB going to rate this game AO, adults only?
Well, they
But if they're not going to do that, then they cannot tell us to censor something
Hey,
when
dude,
we
I'm
follow
with
the
you.
rules.
I'm with you. You follow the rules. You put it behind an age gate. Case closed. ESRB cannot start getting all Gestapo-like. This is just
And this is what they're
censorship of
doing.
the
They're
highest
using.
form.
They don't even have any rules in place for them to do this. They're trying to put pressure on the publisher to put pressure on. You're right. It's like I said before. It's like the mob.
It is.
It's crazy.
They censor trailers too, because the original God of War trailer, it was a lot bloodier, and then when it aired on GT, the blood was taken out of it.
Well, how did you see the original?
Justin was telling me about it because he went to like a preview event for Sony or something. And then he's like, yeah, the real thing is a lot bloodier, and then they had to cut it a little short. But that's like a real trailer. That's the actual trailer. We have no control over those.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, once they're delivered to us, we just put them up as is.
the thing I'll
And
say,
that was the other thing. We shot this developer walkthrough. Sony had nothing to do with this
We
other
went
than the
to the
guy
event and
providing
shot
the
this.
commentary. So
Well,
we
they've
shot
also-
it, we cut it together, we produced it.
all right. So this,
They've also been re-rating things, like things that have been up for 18 months, 2 years. I
They're
think we had like a
bored.
Dark Sector trailer.
Yeah, they'll
we had
come
that
back from
fall.
stuff that's been up for like a year and tell us, oh, we've changed our minds, they need to age gate this.
Yeah.
And we have 8,000 other videos you need to do the same thing for.
All right, so the last time we had a go at the ESRB, really had a go, it was the Fallout 3 debacle.
Right.
And a lot of people, Game Politics, Kotaku, they linked to the show. Our numbers went through the roof, which is great. Here's hoping they'll do it again from a purely mercenary point of view. But what I'm hoping is that this show, the message gets spread. And I hope somebody from the ESRB is listening to this, because as the producer for this show, I would like to issue an invitation to somebody from the ESRB to come to Los Angeles and come and sit in and have a discussion with us on air, so that we can share it with everybody else and tell us what the they're thinking, and try and justify to us what's going on.
They're just trying to stay relevant, because eventually everything will be digital distribution and no one will subscribe anymore to the SRB. So they're just trying to get.
But that's a hell of a way to do it. Make everyone hate you? Like, that makes no sense whatsoever. Like, we're pissed off. The publishers are pissed off. If you piss off the people that feed you, then you die.
They are here to protect the industry. They are here to serve the industry. They are not here to kowtow to any of the right-wing media and any potential freakouts from politicians. They're supposed to protect gamers, protect the games companies. That's what they're supposed to do. If they don't want to do it and they feel they can't do it, well, they should all off and start lobbying for the tobacco makers.
Come on the show. I mean, we're here.
That's a friendly invitation.
We can do it. We can do a call.
Hey, I'll
over
be
the
on my best
phone.
behavior.
We'll validate your parking.
I'll take a couple of Valium beforehand. I'll be chillaxed. We'll give them the chance to actually present their case.
In all honesty, I just want to
them.
hear what they have to say, because it's like I keep hearing all this stuff through a third party. I did have a call with the SRB at one point. It wasn't very productive or fruitful, but I would like someone from the SRB to have a conversation with us on the phone that we can record and put in the show, or come here in person and come on the show and explain to us and our viewers and the publishers, apparently, who don't know either, what your policies are and how you can do something like this. Because to me, it's not right. It's hurting our business. It's hurting Sony's business. You're supposed to be looking out for the game industry, making the game industry better, stronger, and wiser, and I just don't see that happening.
A line has to be drawn, and every time they do this, they aren't doing anybody any favors. And where's it going to stop? When, after they've gone through all the M-rated games, what's next? They're going to start relooking at the teen-rated games, and somebody
He
says,
bonked him in the head with a hammer.
Absolutely.
That's
done that.
E10 plus.
Yeah, they added E10 in 06?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's about right.
So here you go, ESRB, you work for gamers. You work for the games companies. We are gamers. We've worked at games companies, or we're all in the games business. We're challenging you to come talk to us, and it will be an open and frank discussion. It won't be hostile, but just come and talk to us and share everything with everybody. Contact Shane, contact myself, contact Ryan. Don't contact Brooks, though. He's got messy hair.
Invitation's open. Bring it. All right, that's going to do it for this week's show. Been a while since we've directed some ire towards the ESRB, but honestly, we really would just like to get the word from the horse's mouth instead of hearing it from these people and that people. So reach out to us. We'll make sure you get on the show. Thank you for watching and listening this week. Definitely hit us up on Facebook. Become our friend. Are we Twittering that stuff about Invisible Walls?
There is a game.
Are we still like 3 months behind the rest of the internet?
There is a Game Trailers Twitter. I don't control it, but I've actually been twittering Invisible Walls stuff on my own Twitter, which is Annoyed Gamer.
And how many followers do you have there?
At the moment, I have almost 350.
I have almost
All the
20.
disciples.
I think I have almost 22 followers.
Well, you're not following me.
No, I'm not a big
following
fan of
you.
the Twitter. I don't really need to know when someone's going to the bathroom, but maybe other people want to know when we're going to the bathroom. I don't know. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week. Peace.